We kick things off in the middle of a difficult situation as a cute girl is chased by some men and eventually gets cornered by them. She is in a lot of distress, so she asks the men not to do anything shady to her. Of course, they don't look like they're going to listen to the cute girl, so she begins to lose her calm and prays to God to help her out. At this very moment, the goons hear someone wishing them a good evening, almost as if he is some kind of gangster. The goons get spooked by his appearance, so they ask who he is, and he only replies by saying he is a salaryman. In order for us to understand the story better, we need to go back in time. We learn that our hero's name is Saia, and he is the chief of his office. One of his colleagues asks him if he would like to head out for a drink later, but he says no to this offer and refers to him as Kawada. Saia has to head home, and he is driving, so he does not want to risk drinking. Kawada asks him to book an agency driver, but he says that he does not like to give his car to a stranger. Our hero does mention that he enjoys drinking, but only once in a while. As a matter of fact, he has 3 calendar dates where he feels consuming alcohol is acceptable. There's the New Year's party, the drinking party, and the year-end party, all of which are good enough for his social life. Kawada does not like that his boss only drinks 3 times a year. But Saia has made his decision, and he is going home now. After he reaches, we learn that he is 37 years old and also single despite being in such a high position. He is very serious and steady in general, but he personally feels that he is only above average as a human being. What he does not like is socializing with people after working hours, because it eats into his alone time. It's not that Saia is bad at talking to people, but he does like to have his own peace and quiet. Our hero shuts his eyes for a bit, but when he opens them back again, he finds himself gazing upon the night sky in a rather confusing sequence. He was supposed to be in his room, but the open area makes him feel as if he is in the afterlife. However, when he looks up, he notices that there are 2 moons instead of 1, suggesting that he has been reincarnated in another world. Suddenly, Saia's brain starts to hurt, and he can see visions of some divine girl. After a bit of struggling, he finally realizes what has happened, and it all starts to make sense to him now. It turns out that he is not in an alien world, but at his actual home instead. In order to understand this, we need to go back another 20 years into the past. Here, we see Saia risking his life by jumping in front of a truck to save an innocent mother and her child. Of course, this leads to his own end, and he quickly finds himself in front of a goddess. Since Saia had selflessly sacrificed himself for the sake of a mother and her daughter, he got summoned into another world before the truck could hit him. The goddess told our hero that she was supposed to only summon his soul, but she ended up summoning his body as well. Anyway, after this, she asked Saia to save the world he was brought to, even though he was just in high school at the time. This did not go down well as Saia thought he was being forced into doing a favor. He told the goddess that he did not ask her to help him, and she should have just let him pass away in peace. There was no reason for him to save the world because people don't do such things for free. He was expecting to be paid a price for putting his own life on the line. But this attitude was mainly because of the fact that our hero did not get along with his stepdad at all. There's also the fact that he was going through puberty at the time. But his nasty words were enough to make the goddess cry in front of him. Anyway, after this whole drama, Saia ended up taking the job of saving the world, and he even traveled all around it. Our hero also met someone named Shinma, but we don't know who that is, and even Saia does not seem to remember what happened after this. We're back to the present now, and our hero laments that he is not able to recall any of his other memories. However, he has been summoned to another world after 20 long years, so he's excited to embark on his new adventure. It's obviously a bit too sudden for him because he did not even get the chance to write a letter of absence to his company. Now, Saia spends a lot of time looking for a city he's familiar with, but isn't able to do so. All the walking around has made him tired as well, so he curses the fact that he is not as energetic as he used to be back when he was younger. If he had that kind of stamina, then walking around over here would have been a piece of cake. Now, Saia suddenly notices something about his suit. Basically, it's a bit too comfortable for him to wear, which should not be possible considering the fit. Now, he checks out the suit and finds some letters inside them. So he takes them out to see what they're about. There are lots of notes here, which means that someone went through the trouble of writing down a lot of details for our hero to read. Saia takes out his reading glasses and gets straight to work, after which he soon realizes that this is a roundabout way. The letter could either have been written by the goddess or Shinma, but from the looks of it, this could be the goddess pulling off an act of assistance more than Shinma, who we don't even know. She says that she has given him the right kind of equipment for this mission because the suit has been designed from top to bottom with the highest levels of enhancements and restorative powers. Even the glasses Saia is wearing have the ability to translate the local language of this world, while also having weakness detection. The writer of this letter also states that she will not give Saia anything more than these glasses. And that's when even our hero realizes that these letters have been written by the goddess. Her name is finally revealed to be Elise, and then we see our hero laughing all by himself. He appreciates what the goddess has done for him, especially because it's been a long time since they last saw each other. He comments that Goddess Elise still has terrible handwriting, but he's not too mad about it because he seems to like her. He then notices that there is one more letter inside his suit, and he opens it up to see that Elise wants him to save the world once again, even though it may come across as selfish from the goddess. She states that she will not get into the details of the global crisis right now, because she is sure that Saia will figure it out on his own if he chooses to save the world once again. Of course, he doesn't need to do anything right now if he wants to stay back over here and not return to his original world. Saia is back in action after 20 full years, so he is going to make the most out of his time in another world. Now, Saia knows that saving the world is not an easy task, and he is not as strong as he used to be, so he needs to think carefully about his plans. He also does not understand why Elise was paying so much attention on the glasses, but he chooses not to waste too much time thinking about such things. His vision is getting better now that he has spent more time over here, and he decides to go find a place to stay. However, before he can do anything of the sort, our hero hears someone in distress and decides to check it out. Now, we're back to the first scene where we see the cute girl running away from the goons, and she calls for help while trying to avoid them. Sadly for her, she trips and falls, which allows the goons to catch up to her with shady smiles on their faces. We learn that she is a priest girl, and she begs the men not to do anything creepy because they will be punished for their sins. Of course, these men are goons, so they don't care about any kind of punishment. All they can think about is the nature of the unspeakable acts they are going to perform on the priest girl. Of course, our hero is standing there watching the whole thing, and he comments on how cliché and predictable this entire scenario is. He knows that the goons are all hopeless, so he picks up a stick and prepares for battle, while the priest girl calls out to God once again for help. Saia rushes to the scene and presents himself to the goons, confusing them completely. The clothes he is wearing are not items you would see from this world, so the goons have no idea who they're dealing with. Saia says that he's just a passerby and a salaryman, but his jokes land on deaf ears because these goons don't know what he's talking about. They also don't like the fact that Saia has come and crashed their party, but he simply helps the priest girl up by offering his hand. This does not go down well with the goons, so one of them tries to pick a fight with our hero by grabbing his shoulder. He also comments on his dressing sense as ugly and silly. This was not the right move to make, because Saia shows us exactly how skilled he is by smacking the man instantly on the chin. If this wasn't cool enough, he also takes the stick he had picked up earlier and smashes it on the goon's head. The villain passes out, and Saia asks out of concern if he hit him too hard. He then looks at the priest girl and tells her to get out of here as soon as possible because he has to deal with all the other goons. She is a bit confused at first, But then our hero tells her that they can talk about this thing in detail later. She is fine with this idea. But then the goon leader shows up and mocks Saia for thinking he can take all of them on together. The numbers are clearly not in our hero's favor. But even then, he focuses on the cute priest girl, making her escape from the scene. She is able to get to a safe spot away from all the action. But she still chooses to stay close enough to see how this will unfold. The goon leader asks Saia if he thinks he is on the side of justice, but he simply replies that he wants to leave an impression on the younger generation. This ticks off the goon leader, so he threatens Saia by saying he will cut off a portion of his face and make it his own. Our hero is not at all scared by this threat, and he says that things have finally started to get interesting for him. The goon leader loses all of his patience, and he orders his men to attack Saia with everything they've got. The first goon goes at our hero and tries to strike him in the face, but he is able to dodge the attack with ease, and then he lands a direct punch into his face. The goon falls down and Saia gets 60 points for the attack he just pulled off. He commends the goon for at least trying to hit him in the face, but his blade will never be able to reach our hero. The goon does not seem to be down and out for the count just yet, as he makes an evil smile and proceeds to attack Saia with a finisher move. He mocks our hero for leaving himself wide open to this attack, and he feels like he has won the battle with ease. However, to his shock and surprise, he sees that his blade has not been able to pierce through Saia's suit. He can't believe what he is seeing, but Saia just brushes off the blade attack as if it was a minor inconvenience. Our hero comments that the level of the attack was not really that great, but even then, the durability of his suit is quite nice. The goon realizes that Saia is wearing magic armor, so he complains that this is dirty cheating. Of course, our hero simply turns it around on him and states that his name should be dirty with the way he is trying to win this fight with a proper sword. The goon hates what he hears, so he decides to aim for the neck instead. But Saia is able to block the attack with ease, after which he lands a crucial blow right into the stomach. This gives him another 20 points, and it doesn't look like he's rusty at all. He then explains to his opponent that if he wants to attack a certain body part, then he should not announce it like a fool. The only time this will work is if he is trying to pull off a deception. But our hero's taunts are more than enough to spook out the goon. He gives up because he knows there's no point in trying to fight an expert. He tries to run away, but there is a scar on his leg, which is picked up instantly by Saia. Our hero does not intend to be merciful at all, and he proceeds to throw a knife straight at the scar. It's amazing to see that he lands a bull's eye on the scar despite the fact that his target was running away. He mocks the goon and asks if he ended up opening one of his older wounds. Of course, the goon is in too much pain to say anything, so now it's just Saia and the goon leader. Saia asks him if he really is the leader, but he wants to know who our hero is and how he got here. It's so crazy to see such a fighter, and the leader wonders how things got so weird so soon. Saia is not at all perturbed by his domination, because he was expecting things to go down this exact way. The goon leader asks him if he is some kind of veteran, but Saia says that he is not like that at all. It's just that the goon leader is at an extremely low level, and that's pretty much the ultimate insult. The goon leader wants to give up, but he knows that it's a bit too late for that now. Saia makes a threat this time by saying he will make sure the goon leader will never be able to hold a weapon in his hand ever again. This ticks off the goon leader, so he decides to charge at our hero with everything he's got. Of course, this is child's play for Saia as he dodges the attack without breaking a sweat, and then pulls off a karate chop on his opponent. He is appalled that a leader would pull off such an obvious move, because that only makes things a lot easier for him. After the karate chop, he also lands a direct hit on the goon leader's face, and then he finishes things off with a kick to the chin. It's a rather savage way to finish off your opponent, but Saia has no regrets. The goon leader is knocked down to the ground, and he comments on how ridiculously strong our hero is. Of course, he still tries one last sneak attack, But Saia has seen through it already, and he crushes his opponent's wrist with his shoe, earning another 50 points in the process. He gives it to the goon leader for trying to turn it around, and he commends his sense of fighting spirit. However, it's not a good idea to hold on so tightly to his weapon, even after he is completely exhausted. Saia comments that it's all over, but at this very moment, he remembers a crucial detail. As per the goons he just fought, there should still be one small fry left to take care of. That's when Saia notices that this goon has taken the priest girl as his hostage, and she says sorry for letting herself get caught. She is helpless in the shady man's arms, and Saia curses himself for letting such a simple point slip through his mind. He does not get any points for this, and tries to figure a way to save the priest girl, but the goon tells him that he better not move until he runs away from the scene. Saia agrees to stand still and not hurt the goon, but he does ask him to release the girl as his hostage. Despite the negotiation, the goon says that he does not trust our hero, especially because of what he said earlier about beating the entire group of goons all by himself. Things have gotten a bit tricky, so the priest girl tells Saia that she is just a stupid female who has gotten herself into an adverse situation. She does not want him to risk his life for her, but our hero is not the kind of guy to let a pretty girl be taken away from him. The priest girl still thanks him and apologizes for dragging him into this mess. She maintains that she will be able to manage from here on, so he should not worry for her. The goon reminds our hero that he should not move at all, otherwise he will attack the priest girl. He tells Saia to put his hands up in the air right where he can see them, and he warns him against doing anything weird. Of course, Saia is not going to make a silly mistake this time, but he also threatens the goon against laying a finger on the priest girl. It looks like he does have some kind of plan in his head, so he looks at the goon with dramatic intent. The priest girl is also dragged away from the scene, but Saia was only waiting for her to be 50 meters away from him. He has been wanting to try out a new trick, and this distance allows him that chance. Before the goon can even understand what is going on, Saia unleashes a spell known as matter transfer, and he is able to teleport the priest girl away from the goon and into his arms. She is clearly scared because of what she has just gone through, so Saia asks her if she is all right. The priest girl is able to collect herself, and she apologizes once again for making our hero do so much work. She thanks him yet again, but he says that it's his fault for taking this fight so casually, especially because he is nowhere close to his peak. The goon can't believe Saia's powers, and he wonders if he's a magician who also has insane fighting skills. Of course, he can't really back down now, so he charges away from our hero and calls him a monster. It's obvious that Saia is not going to let this man escape, because he has hurt his feelings a little bit by not even bothering to negotiate with him earlier. Since Saia has had his ego bruised, he is going to make the goon pay with his life, and he goes on to summon a demon snake. It's actually a tracking snake magic bullet, which will follow its target till striking it. The goon panics crazily as the snake demon catches up to him, and we can all assume what happens next to him, even though it is not shown in detail. Now that the danger has been averted, Saia says that he must clean the mess he has made of the goons and their bodies. Before that, he would like to know the name of the priest girl, so he introduces himself to her. She reveals that her name is Mia, and she is a priestess of the shrine of the Earth Mother Goddess. After they exchange greetings, Mia bows down to our hero, yet another time to show him how grateful she is for having her life saved. She was genuinely scared that the goons would not listen to her preachings. But this confuses Saia because he did not know that villains listen to such things. He wants to laugh out loud, but he keeps his intrusive thoughts in check as he coughs in the process of suppressing himself. Mia does not understand why he is being this way, but there is no time to figure that out now. Saia uses another order spell to restrain the goons he has just taken down, and it is called the Demon Constraint. Not only will these goons now suffer unbearable pain, our hero has also made it a point to take away all their weapons. Mia is amazed to see how much work Saia can put in without even having to break a sweat. She offers him some tea as a small token of her appreciation. And this is a great relief for our hero, because he does not have any money right now to go on adventures. Now, he checks out all the weapons he has just taken from the goons, and he notices that the Western swords are not that bad. He makes his pick from the swords, and then sips on the tea, only to learn that it is a yummy wildflower flavor. Mia worries that her savior does not like the flavor, because it is actually mint from this meadow. Saia reassures her that the tea tastes very good, and then he asks her if she is familiar with wild plants. Mia says that she only has a bit of knowledge regarding these plants, but then it strikes her that Saia could be hurt from his earlier battle. She did see him getting a direct hit on his side during the first encounter, and she actually wanted to use the sacred art of recovery on Saia at that moment. However, she could not get the timing right, which was why our hero had to fight through it all by himself. Mia feels bad about this, so she says that she is not qualified to be a Shinto priest. Saia tries to comfort her by saying it's no big deal because it doesn't even hurt. However, the priest girl says that he is still injured, so it could become a big deal later on. She begs our hero to let her treat his wounds. So he concludes that even though Mia might be naive and stubborn, she is a good person who is very caring. Now, Saia decides to check out his injury. So he takes off his jacket and pulls up his shirt. That's when he notices that he is indeed bruised from the blow he took early on from the goons. Mia is shocked to see how big the bruise is, but Saia says that it doesn't hurt him at all. This is because his clothes have been made with magic, which means that the shock of the blow was pretty much cancelled out. Of course, since Mia is already here, he figures he should ask her for this favor. She is glad to hear this, and then she lifts her holy spear to unleash a wound healing spell. The Earth Mother Goddess blesses our hero and manages to make the bruise go away in a matter of seconds. Saia comments that the process was a huge success, and Mia simply states that it's because she was powered by the Earth Mother Goddess. This entity is also believed to be involved with fertility and love, so our hero figures that Mia must have been in the middle of a spiritual retreat. He then explains to the priest girl that while going out and having fun is a good thing, Mia still needs to be wary of shady people like the goons she was running away from. After all, not everyone is nice in this world, and it would be amazing if you could just go to the Adventurers Guild and make good friends just like that. Having heard this, Mia takes out her guild card and shows Saia that she is already an adventurer. Seeing this brings back a lot of memories to our hero, because even he used to be an adventurer. It goes without saying that the goons he has just beaten will be expelled from the guild the moment he exposes their shady intentions. He tells Mia that she will not have any problem in finding new people to join her party, mainly because she is a rare priestess. Mia reveals that she had thought the very same thing, but they didn't turn out great for her. After all, the goons that Saia has just beaten up had first approached Mia at the Adventurers Guild. As a matter of fact, they were being so persistent that she had to refuse them almost instantly. This makes Saia also imagine of all the weird and shady ways the goons may have tried to impress Mia into joining their party. However, since they started to act so nice in front of her, Mia decided to give in and join them after all. She feels very embarrassed now that she has seen how shameless some people can be. But our hero is lost in a completely different train of thought. He says that dating would be a horrible idea in this world. But if it's Mia we're talking about, then she is not a bad option to any man out there. The priest girl blushes and says that she could never do such a thing because she has devoted herself to the Earth Mother Goddess. She also says that she is not good with people at all, so Saia says that she might hate him as well. He is not known for being very social either, but Mia tells him he's wrong in this regard. The point is that he has saved her life, which means that she can never ever hate him. Our hero acknowledges that it's sweet for the priest girl to trust him so much despite the both of them only having met tonight. But he confesses that it's dangerous to be around him because he is no moral benchmark. Now, Mia looks into the sky and asks our hero what he is going to do next. He reveals that he is going to a city in the east because it's been a long time since he last went there. It turns out that Mia also has some really important work over there, and it's called Ilstat. This is a weird coincidence, but our hero feels that the priest girl could be building a dependence on him. He does not know how to feel about this, because it puts an extra bit of responsibility on him. However, he also likes to be relied upon as it is a basic character trait of a real man. Now, Mia brings his attention back to a very important problem. She asks about his money situation, and he confirms that he actually does not have any cash on him to go on adventures or do anything of the sort. This is a big problem for Saia, and he was hoping to get some cash from the goons, but even they didn't have much to offer. Mia offers a solution to our hero, but she says that she will be the one to feed him and take care of him. This makes Saia pause for a second because he has never seen such a situation where a cute girl is offering to feed him. The truth of the matter is that it would be great to get a temporary loan from someone. But Mia says that she wants to do this as thanks for saving her life. Strangely enough, she asks Saia to become her pimp, but she may not know what that word means. Our hero is shocked to learn that Mia knows such a term, and even more shocked to see a devotee of God using it so casually. She only says that it's fine because she has enough savings for the both of them to live for a month. Eventually, Saia decides to accept the deal and says that he will be in the priest girl's care from now on. He promises that he will take care of his financial problems soon enough, and even states that he will pay Mia back twice as much of whatever she will give him. Mia says that she is looking forward to working with Saia, and then they shake hands. Of course, she realizes that she should have clarified she is not looking forward to getting repaid for her efforts, but Saia just laughs it off with her. Now, we move to the west gate of Ilstat, and Saia is glad to have finally reached it, because he was tired of walking for so long. We learn that Ilstat is a city surrounded by fortified walls, and has a lot of materials available nearby, which makes it the perfect spot for adventurers. Of course, this is only what Saia remembers from 20 years ago, so things could be different now. At the end of the day, he will need to explore this world properly if he is to understand if it has gone through any changes. He feels extremely nostalgic from looking at everything around him, and then he asks Mia if his favorite waffle shop is still there. She is surprised to see how he knows the location to this place, and then she suggests buying some waffles. Saia is totally on board with this plan, but then he remembers that he is broke, so he doesn't really have a say in such decisions. Of course, Mia does not feel that way, so she grabs his hand and takes him to the waffle shop. At first, our hero says that he'll pass on the waffle offer because he'll feel bad if Mia keeps feeding him like this. The priest girl counters that saying such a statement means that Saia is indeed craving waffles right now, and she does not have a problem buying them for him. She even says that she wants to treat and spoil her savior, so it makes him think that the priest girl is rather stubborn and pushy. After all these discussions, the couple finally makes it to the waffle shop, but to their surprise, it's closed. Mia feels bad about dragging Saia all the way here, so she apologizes for it. He says it's fine because what's done is done, and he also enjoyed his journey to the waffle shop. However, the priest girl maintains that she should not have forced him here, especially because it was all in vain. Now that the couple has nothing to do, Mia asks Saia about their next plan of action. He reasons that since they ate quite a bit before coming here, the next logical step should be to get some rest. Our hero also takes this chance to thank Mia for all the food she's given him. It turns out that Saia has already eaten 2 meals thanks to the priest girl, but she says it's no problem at all. Saia states that this is not how he works, and he will make sure to note down every single thing that Mia gives him. This might be to ensure that he pays her back the right amount, but then he realizes that he does not even have pen and paper to write down these items. Mia once again tells him that she does not need to be repaid because he saved her life. This is something that she will never be able to pay back herself, but Saia states that they are not the same thing in his eyes. Plus, he has made it a policy not to be in debt to anyone, so he has to stick to his words. At this very moment, it starts to rain, and we can see Mia getting wet. Things don't look very good, and the couple assumes there's going to be a downpour. Mia gets our hero to hurry up, and she leads him to a dry spot under a roof. Saia cleans his glasses and hopes that the rain ends soon. He also asks Mia if she is all right, but she says that she is the one who should be asking him that question. After all, she is wearing a cloak and has no reason to fear the rain. Saia tells her not to worry so much because his god suit is designed to dry off, even if it gets wet in the rain. However, his hair has gotten a bit messed up, so he fixes it quickly. After he sets it up, he looks quite nice, so Mia comments that he is actually a very handsome young man. Our hero can sense the priest girl giving in to her intrusive thoughts, so he changes the topic by saying this is his business look which he wears to formal occasions. Mia can see that Saia is a mage, so she asks him what kind of work he is into. That's obviously a big secret, so our hero can't share it with the priest girl yet. He does reveal that it was a safer and much more stable job than being an adventurer. The pay was good as well, but the only problem is that Saia could not hand in his resignation before being transferred to another world. Our hero admits that he must be causing the company a lot of trouble due to his sudden disappearance. But then again, his interest in it was slowly fading away, so it doesn't affect him that much. He can never look back at returning to that job ever again. And then he enters an inn with Mia. The master is happy to meet Mia, and he welcomes her inside with a smile on his face. He asks her if she was out picking herbs again, and she confirms that, but also reveals that she got into some trouble as well. Luckily, Saia rescued her, and she is back to town safe and sound. The master tells her that she should be careful because the number of bandits around town have been on the rise. Cute girls like Mia make for easy targets, so she agrees to be more careful in the future. Now, the master asks Mia if she would like to stay for the night, but he also reveals that a lot of people have booked with tonight due to the rains. This means that he only has one room to offer her, which makes her a bit nervous. On top of that, there is only one single bed in the room, but staying in it is completely Mia's choice. The master tries to be nice, and he tells Mia that she will only need to pay for one person. But the priest girl is blushing a lot because her intrusive thoughts have kicked in yet again. Saia tries to ease it for her by saying she can sleep in the room since she is the one paying for it. Of course, she is concerned about our hero, so she asks what he will do during the night. He states that he will simply meditate till dawn as if he is some kind of magician. However, this only makes Mia worry for him more as he has not slept ever since he has come here. On top of that, he used up quite a few spells during his battle with the goons, and that must have definitely taken a toll on his stamina. Mia says that Saia should be the one to sleep inside the room and recover all his mana, but then he asks her what she will do. The priest girl says that she will simply pray to the Earth Mother Goddess until dawn, but our hero tells her that this is not the time to make such ridiculous claims. Mia uses his own logic against him by saying even he should not be sacrificing his own sleep for the sake of meditation. The master cuts them both off and says that they should at least check out the room because even he would like to go to sleep now. The couple does not argue with his suggestion, so he takes that as a yes and books the room for them. They don't know how to react to this, but the master wishes them a good night and goes to sleep. Now, Saia and Mia check out the room, which is a very simple space, but that is what they should be expecting for just 5 silver coins. Mia is a bit confused as to what they should do now, so she asks Saia for advice. The priest girl is clearly feeling a bit embarrassed by their current situation, and we can see it on her face. Saia simply looks back at her and smiles, but this is not because he is having any intrusive thoughts. As a matter of fact, our hero tells the mage girl that he has no problem sleeping next to her in bed. There's nothing wrong with such a concept to begin with. so he lets Mia decide what she would like to do. If she would prefer for them not to sleep together, then he has no issues with going outside the room either. This leads to an awkward moment between the both of them, and Mia is the one who is feeling extremely shy about it. Saia, on the other hand, gives her a smile, suggesting that he knows a thing or two about being in bed with a cute girl. Saia knows that this is not the best way for him to take advantage of the favor Mia owes him, but such is life. Of course, this has nothing to do with the mood of the priest girl, but since there is so much rain outside and they have nowhere else to go, Mia says that they have no other choice but to share the same bed. Saia was not expecting the priest girl to be ready so soon. But anyway, the couple shares a bed for the night without engaging in any shady activities. Saia wishes to have worn something other than his suit shirt. But then again, it has been blessed by the goddess with amazing enhancements, so it is safer to wear it while asleep. Mia is clearly feeling extra nervous, so she hopes that Saia does not think of her as a shady girl with creepy thoughts on her mind. She has never shared a bed with a man before, and this just happens to be a coincidence. Saia does not think so, because it was the only rational decision they could make based on the circumstances. Our hero feels a bit responsible for what has happened, especially because the bed is a bit too cramped for them to keep a distance from each other's bodies. Despite this, Mia still feels a bit guilty about everything, and she feels that this is all her fault because she had forcefully taken Saia to the waffle shop earlier. If she had not done this, then they would have been able to book a room before the rains came in. Anyway, there is no point in crying over spilled milk, so the priest girl asks our hero what his plans are for tomorrow. He plans on going to the Adventurers Guild so that he can get a job and make some money. Mia says that she will be going there as well, but is not too keen on doing so because there are some people at the guild whom she does not wish to meet. Of course, since the master said it's best not to go alone, she might as well go with her savior. And this leads Saia to believe that being an adventurer in this world is no easy feat. He wants to put Mia at ease, so he says that even though their decisions may have been careless, at least he got to know her via all the decisions he made. After all, if this is one of the outcomes of his actions, then he can't really call it a mistake. Even Mia agrees that she would not have met Saia had not it been for the series of events that led them to being friends. Since he has put it in a nice way, Mia now does not mind sharing the bed with her savior. She still tells our hero that if he is involved in dangerous activities, then he should not be going out on solo missions. However, he is too tired to have a chat about such things, so he tells the priest girl that he is going to sleep. Mia thanks him for all that he did today, and then the couple goes to sleep. The night passes by, and it looks like both Mia and Saia are asleep, but that is not the case. Mia calls out to her savior and asks if he is awake, to which he wakes up instantly and asks her what the matter is. Mia feels bad upon realizes that Saia is a light sleeper, and she has just woken him up. But he asks her if she is having a hard time sleeping herself. She reveals that she is feeling a bit lightheaded, but is not sure if this is because of what happened earlier with the goons. At the same time, she is not sure if her mind is even conscious of it. But Saia tells her that her body needs to rest, even if her brain is occupied. She agrees with his logic and says sorry once again for waking our hero up. Saia looks like he has something to say, so he gets up from bed and calls out to Mia. She worries that he might just act on his intrusive thoughts, but he reveals that he only wants to make sure she is put into a deep sleep. His method will work for sure, but the catch is that Mia won't be able to wake up unless she is subjected to an alarm spell or extreme pain and shock. As a matter of fact, she won't wake up even if her body is shaken. So Saia asks her if she is fine with him using such a spell on her. This makes Mia all hot and heavy as she asks our hero if she won't be able to wake up even if he happens to be doing unspeakable things to her. He answers that she will not wake up no matter what he might do to her, and this makes the priest girl think for a bit. She eventually agrees to have the spell cast on her, and after the both of them get ready for it, She asks Saia if she can sleep in peace now without having to worry about being woken up. He says yes, but at the same time, he does not like the fact that Mia trusts him way too much. It would have actually been better for him if she had refused the spell being cast on her. However, since he knew that the priest girl was unable to sleep because of him, he needed to find a solution for her. Now, it's time to get Mia sleepy, so Saia asks her to relax in order to remove any chances of restrictions against his spell. Mia lies down silently and calmly as our hero calls to the god of sleep to give her a good night's rest. It doesn't take long for her to pass out instantly, and the Saia wishes her sweet dreams. With that, he takes off his glasses and decides to sleep as well, because his mana usage is at its limit after all the work he had to do today. The next day, Mia asks Saia to wake up, but he still wants to roll around in bed. It's morning though, so our hero gets up and asks Mia how she slept the previous night. She answers with a resounding yes and thanks him for his spell. He is glad to hear this and is about to get out of bed, but Mia asks him if he needs to rest some more to regain all his mana. After all, she ends up making him work a bit too much, and she feels really sorry for causing him so much trouble. Saia says that he is glad simply to be able to sleep on a bed, and it's been a while since he has gotten a good night's sleep. Our hero thinks to himself that he is still feeling drowsy, probably because he is feeling extremely tired after using so much magic. He never faced such issues 20 years ago, which only goes on to prove that Saia's age is catching up to him. His entire body is in pain, so Mia asks him if he would like her to treat him and his issues. Saia then explains to us that all of this is called mana strain, which is a dulling pain as it irritates the body for using so much magic. It's been a long time since he has had issues with the overuse of magic, which means that it will take a few days for the pain to go away. Since he also has muscle pain, it would be best for him to let his body recover the natural way. Mia asks him if he has not had any exercise in a while, which is a rather embarrassing question for Saia to answer. He states that he has not exerted himself to such an extent in decades, so this could be punishment for him remaining idle for so long. Mia laughs at Saia and says that he is most definitely not a morning person, so she heads out of the room to get something for her savior. Our hero is amazed to see how restless the priest girl is, but he boils all of it down to her youth. It doesn't take long for Mia to return with some breakfast and coffee, which she was able to get from the innkeeper. The priest girl then asks Saia if he would like to have his coffee with milk. He does not seem to have a problem either way, but if Mia is taking milk, then he will also do the same. Mia proceeds to pour him his drink, and she comments that the coffee tastes amazing with milk in it. Saia finds this funny because it resembles the drink called café au lait back in his original world of Japan. It's technically supposed to be a drink for children, but then he brushes it off and says that this is just his personal opinion. Either way, his words have made the priest girl conscious, so she wonders if she has added too much milk for her to be considered a child. Our hero tells her once again that the coffee is delicious, and then he says that they should go to the Adventurers Guild today since it happens to be in the same block. Mia also states that it will only take them a few minutes to reach the reception of the guild, but then she asks him if he is even registered with it. He says that he was registered to the guild 20 years ago, so it could be that he has lost his status now. Mia explains that if Saia is a newcomer, then he will have to pay an initial registration fee. This comes as a bit of a shock to him because he knows there used to be an annual fee, but never heard anything about a registration fee. Mia states that this is recent development mainly due to the fact that the quality of adventurers has been decreasing rapidly. By making an adventurer's card costly, the guild can be sure of getting prospects that are actually serious about making a difference. Saia asks the priest girl what the registration fee might be, and she believes it's 50 silver coins, but she can't be sure of it. Mia feels that it would be better to ask the guild for further details, but our hero states that he does not agree with this method. After all, There could be promising adventurers out there who do not have the funds to pay such a high fee. Mia realizes that her savior could very well be talking about himself. So she asks him not to worry as she will pay off the fees. She also makes a joke on how a child like her, who loves cafe au lait, is going to take care of Saia. Our hero laughs as well and asks Mia not to make fun of an old uncle such as himself. After their fun and games, we see the couple entering the Adventurers Guild of Ilstat. It's a lot different from what Saia had seen before, and he notices a new aisle on the left side. He asks Mia what this aisle is supposed to be, and she states that it connects to the bar next door. After all, it should be easy for adventurers to party and have a good time after they collect their rewards from the guild. Saia agrees with this method because it is the right way to keep the adventurers happy with their missions. Now, the couple move to the reception where they are treated by a cute girl named Louise. She seems to know Mia, so the girls greet each other as if they are best friends. It's been a while since they last saw each other, and Louise is glad to see Mia safe and sound. As a matter of fact, she thought that Mia became upset and quit as an adventurer, to which the priest girl says that she did consider such a thing, but went back on it. Now, Louise tells Mia that a priest girl is very rare and precious in this world. Even now, there are a lot of people who care about her, so it gets her thinking. In the middle of this, Saia is glad to see that Mia has someone else who is looking out for her. He then comments that reception girls are usually known to be caring and sweet people. Now that they are done exchanging pleasantries, Louise asks Mia if the old man next to her is a partner. She says yes, and also states that his name is Saia, and he has helped her a lot. Now, she is feeding him to repay the favor, so Louise tries to make sense of the situation. She wants to know how Saia ended up helping the priest girl, but then she realizes that Mia has just admitted to feeding a man who is much older than her. She then asks the priest girl if Saia is her pimp, and then our hero comments that Mia needs to choose her words better. Louise is now looking at Saia with suspicion and asks for a proper introduction. He starts off politely, but the Louise makes her rage known when she asks him what his intentions are for Mia. Of course, Saia has already assessed her, and he can see that she used to be an adventurer. Louise also looks strong because she possesses the skill of either a swordsman or a dagger user. As a matter of fact, since he is extremely weakened right now, it could be possible that Louise is close to him in terms of strength. Anyway, he tells her that there seems to have been some sort of misunderstanding, as he had helped Mia against some bandits back in the meadows. This makes Louise panic, so she holds on to Mia and asks if anything was done to her. The priest girl says that she is safe and sound, so it makes Louise breathe a sigh of relief. Mia adds that Saia was the one who managed to save her in time. And then Louise asks her if she is sure that nothing was done to her pure and curvy body. This makes things a bit awkward, but Mia maintains that she is completely fine and pure still. She even asks Saia to back her up, and he says that none of the bandits were able to lay a hand on the priest girl. Louise says that it was great timing because if something were to have happened to Mia, then she would have cut down all the goons without giving it a second thought. Now, the reception girl thanks Saia for all his efforts, and it looks like they are going to build a strong friendship together. Will Louise end up joining our hero's harem? Also, what is the main danger to this world that Saia has to save it from? Like, share, and subscribe if you had fun while watching this video. Show some love, and I'll make sure to cover part 2 as well. Until next time then, see you.